Hey, what's up, everyone? This is David Greenspan, and you are listening to an all-new Season 3 of the Mindshare Podcast, a proud member of the Industry Syndicate Media Network. Additional podcasts are available at mindshare101.com and on all the major podcast platforms. This week's episode is sponsored by the Buzz Conference and Kits Keep in Touch Systems. By the way, did you grab your tickets for the Buzz Conference event yet? It's called Connect and Collaborate. It is a virtual event taking place on March 25th and 26th, and this is where experience and innovation meet. Speakers include Phil Soper, Tim Hudak, Caroline Chang, Mississauga, Ontario Mayor Bonnie Crombie, and founder of the agency in Beverly Hills, Maurizio Umansky, and myself. And that is just the beginning of this amazing list. As always, this event will be loaded with valuable content, and you're going to love this. It is absolutely free for you. So make sure you save the date, March 25th and 26th, and book your tickets. You can find out everything you need to know about all of the great events put on by the Buzz Conference by following at the Buzz Conference on Instagram. Registration links are in their bio. And as always, Kits is with us today as well. Kits offers a fully loaded cross-channel marketing suite for the real estate industry, including tools to help you manage your business, build mindshare, and drive even more sales. You can learn more on my site, mindshare101.com, by clicking on Marketing. I also want to share that our push to 100 reviews is on. We are working to get to 100 reviews on iTunes, and so many of you have already done this. Thank you. For those of you that have not yet, here's how it works. Go to iTunes, rate the show, leave a review, and you will be entered into a draw to win a free one-to-one strategy coaching call with me. Today's episode is number 121. He is a strategic and results-oriented senior business development professional with over 24 years of experience, including significant experience with local and international real estate operations in both North and Latin America and the Caribbean islands. A graduate of business administration, he is an involved member of the community, supporting and serving on various associations. In 2014, the National Association of Realtors presented him with the Presidential International Distinguished Award. An avid volunteer for many different charities, he is also an international keynote speaker. And after various conversations together, I have personally learned that he has a lot more to share than just business talk, which can help everyone be better in both life and business. This week on the show, I am joined by Vice President of Global Development for REALOGY, Mr. Francisco Angulo. Francisco, welcome to the Mindshare Podcast.
Good afternoon, David. Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm so honored to be in a Canadian podium, at least virtually. We cannot do it, but I hope I can do it very soon. I'm excited. And I feel honored to be in your program. And I wanted to thank both sponsors, the Buzz Conference and Kits. So I'm ready to roll whenever you are.
Yes, my friend. Well, it's an absolute honor to have you here today. I know for myself, and a little quick backstory for anybody that I had seen your integration with the Buzz Conference probably about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago now. It was highly recommended that we connect, and then we connected, and I think we had scheduled a 15-minute call, which turned into a couple hours, which then led to another conversation. And I don't even know if we talked business at all. But isn't that what this business is all about? Connecting with people, getting to know people.
Absolutely.
So when we went on with those calls, and I think that it's important for anybody that, doesn't know you, but even for those who do, they may not know your full story. And I mean, you're now the VP of Global Development for REALOGY, but you've also got some very great stories from along your journey, and some of which, I mean, we haven't got time to get into all of them today, of course, because there was a lot of amazing stuff you shared with me. But first off, for anybody who doesn't know, REALOGY is the leading franchisor of some of the most recognizable brands in real estate, delivering value to sales agents and brokers by providing powerful marketing, mentorship, and training, general sales support systems, services, and tools. I'm curious to know, what is your background in terms of the, beginnings of your career in real estate? Did you sell? I know you had told me that you started with C21, Central 21, helped them explode in a really, really good way, really, really fast. And then there was a move to Coldwell Banker. And I know that I didn't do that justice at all just now, but can you please share more with us about that background, just to give everybody a little bit of sense of sort of, your journey from where you were to where you are?
Sure. Well, first, like I said, my name is Francisco. My nickname is Kiko, and my last name is Angulo. I was born in Caracas, Venezuela. My mom was born in Argentina, so I'm half Argentinian as well. And my great parents were from Austria and Chile, from my mother's side, and from my father's side, from Spain and Italy. What I did, I graduated in business and administration and accounting in Caracas, Venezuela, in Catholic University. And then I decided to move to the US. I started, I got my real estate license, and I said, well, I need to find a good partner to work with. So I met one of the wife of one of my good friends, and she said, oh, my husband just started a company. And I said, okay, sure. So I put the license with him, and I start selling. So yes, I've been a realtor in a full acting selling capacity. So I was doing pretty good. And then he said, oh, I think I'm going to buy a brand. But at that moment, I had another job that I love skiing. Yes, I'm in Florida, and it's not water skiing, it's snow skiing. So I started working for a company called Peter Glenn Ski and Sports, and I wanted to always go once or twice a year, spring skiing or Thanksgiving weekend. And I basically went to all Colorado and California mountains. But then I knew that, and I was doing real estate too. So and I knew at what point I needed to decide, well, what my future will entail. Obviously, the other one is excellent, but I said I need to go back to real estate 100%, so which I did. So I joined my partner, that he just bought the Century 21 brand, and he said, Francisco, here you have. We have one office, 6 agents, and I want to see what we can grow. Basically, I went from one office, 6 agents, to 5 officers, 500 agents. In the meantime, I did a TV show called Road to the House with Century 21 in Telemundo Network for the Hispanic market, and that exploded. And obviously, I was holding a segment every morning for 10 minutes, and it was very successful. But at one point, the owner of the franchise had 5 kids coming on board, and I said, "Well, I don't have kids, and they were triplets, and they wanted to step into the office. And I said, well, you know what? I think it's time for me to look for another chapter. I think I'm not gonna. I'd rather give them the chance for them to grow this business, and I took a sabbatical for 1 year. I came back and I said, well, I don't know what I'm doing. I want to keep under the REALOGY umbrella because Century 21 is one of the brands. And I started exploring, and I found out that it was an opportunity with Coldwell Banker. So I started with Coldwell Banker, and they told me, no, Francisco, we want to manage the Coconut Grove office. And I said, okay, great. For certain reasons, the person that hired me died on unfortunate circumstances. And I said, well, I don't know what I'm doing. So I said, well, let me just go back to selling. Well, in 9 months, I had like 12 listings. I was selling. I was super happy to be doing what I had to do. And suddenly somebody called me from corporate and says, Francisco, we're ready for you to be the manager. Oh, so I guess this person shared the conversation with you. I said, absolutely. And we're just waiting for you. So I said, well, when and where? And I said, I transfer my business to somebody else that I work with. And I said, I'm ready. So I started going to Coconut Grove, decided to merge with Coldwell Banker, Coral Gables office, and we became the number one with 220 agents. So, and that was the story.
It's amazing. There's a very unique theme happening with these companies everywhere you go. They just seem to grow.
Well, I remember even Virginia from the boss conference. I said, Francisco, I don't want to talk to you. And I said, why? Because every time that I talk that I think that I have it perfect, you come back with 20 ideas that I said, "Oh my God, you're right, Francisco. I need to work more." So I guess,
Listen, hold on. I will double down on that one. Every time I talk to you, you have another like 5 ideas for me, and I love it. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Write it down.
well, I think that's part of the philosophy that we can talk later on during the show. But I think if I'm going to do it, I need to do it right.
Yeah.
And obviously, I have learned in my life that it's better to be forgiven than to forgotten. So if I do it wrong, I say, well, I'm sorry. I tried to do my best. I'm not perfect. We're human being, and where do I need to make my corrections? How do I need to line up the mistakes and capitalize to make it better? And that's what it's all about to me. And I think it's just recognizing how can you be better every day. So um and then I on the meantime I was doing a lot of institutional work with NAR, the National Association of Realtors, Miami Association of Realtors, Florida Realtors, and everything had to do with international. I represented NAR and Florida Realtors and Miami all over the world, and that's how I got to this job. And I don't know if you want me to.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Is I was going to say in terms of going from C21 to Coldwell, and I remember you'd explained that to me, and you did a better job just now than I did. But moving from Coldwell to Realogy, I was going to ask you why the shift there. What
Well,
was that next progression that took you there?
well, I had I had the vision to say that when I joined, and I'm fully transparent. And when I joined the Coral Gables office, the Coldwell Banker Coral Gables office, we merged, and there was two managers, myself and Charlotte Seidel. Charlotte has been with Coldwell Banker for like 40, 50 years. I don't know how long. She's a legend. She's a great lady. And everybody said, "Oh, Francisco, you're coming on board and blah, blah, blah. And you're going to be taking over." I said, "Listen, listen, 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 listen." So I have to find the right answer. I said, let's just feel like this is a monarchy. Charlotte is the queen and I'm Prince Charles. So I cannot do anything until the queen decided what she wants to do. And I sit down with her and I said, "Charlotte, I'm all yours. You tell me where you want me to be helpful." Obviously, I am an eager person and I like to move forward. And I say, "Well, is that the time for me to explore? Do I have to wait a long time and then I will not be the king?" I think it's similar to the monarchy in Great Britain. And I say, "Well, I had the freedom to explore. I'm not into the monarchy rules." So I started exploring. And I remember that I met my current boss 4 years ago, happened to be Venezuelan like me. And he said, "Well, not at this time." It was a position to be with Sotheby's only. And then my partner says to me, "Oh, hey, I think the job that you were looking, it's open up in Realogy." I said, "Oh, for now, for all brands." So I said, I called Alvaro, my boss, which is the head of global for Realogy for all brands worldwide. And I said, "Alvaro, I saw that there's an opening." And I said, "I'm going to apply." So I had to wait 9 months because there were like 120 applicants. And not only that, but being on the same company, because Coldwell Banker is also part of Realogy. So I was not going from one company to the other. And I said, "No worries, I can wait. I'm not in a hurry. Whatever happens. I'm never forced anything in my life." I think when you have your goal and your dream ahead, I said, This needs to be either now or I find it somewhere else." I waited. And then he said one day, I said, "Well, why don't we talk and let's go to," it was a real deal event here in Miami, which is real estate. And he said, "Why don't you come?" I said, "Well, I have another meeting important with Coldwell Banker and I'm still an employee of Coldwell Banker." And he said, "Well, why don't you come at the end?" I went at the end. I said, "Okay, what are we talking again?" And he said, "No, let's go to have the early dinner." I went to dinner and he said, "Okay, give me your hand." He shook my hand and said, "You got the job."
Hey,
I
there you
said,
go.
"Wow, that's wonderful news." What I thought, and the rationale in 1 minute, I would tell you that I learned that all this travel that I had done on the personal level has grown my abilities to learn the cultures, learn about people, learn that we are not all equal, learn in the sense of, language, laws, real estate, etc. And I said to Alvaro, I said, I bring the know who and the in the business, and you can teach me the know how.
Yeah.
Because but if you have a sales skills, you can sell whatever. I was selling houses and renting houses and bringing my buyer together into the meeting of the minds. I said, if I can do that, I can sell franchises. So that's the reason I moved to this job. And I said, well, now is the first time that I get paid to travel, because for all these years, I invested my own money to travel, because when I was doing this for the National Association of Realtors, yeah, you get a grant and you get a help. But let's say you spend $4,000, well, you get reimbursed 1,500. So
Hmm.
where the other 200, 2,500 comes, and people says, "What are you investing that money?" I say, "Well, you know what? You need to invest," and I have learned that from my mother, and I said, sooner or later, you will be respected, and you gain that respect to move forward.
And you did. And I mean, you now sit as the vice president of global development for this worldwide company. But you also said to me when we were speaking, you had used the line. You said, "David, titles come and go, relationships last forever." Um, Francisco, how can we help people really deep down understand the importance of this way of thinking? And how can we help people shift their mindset, their everyday mindset?
Well, if somebody goes to my LinkedIn profile and look under Francisco Kiko Angulo, you're going to notice that I have so many titles that I have done in the past. But I will tell you that probably 90% of those titles were for volunteer for the realtor community, or the real estate industry in general. And I call, yes, those are great positions, but keep in mind, these are volunteer positions. So the first thing that you have to learn is that, when I was introducing myself, I tell you, this is Francisco, and this is a REALOGY card. This is where I make my money. This one on the right hand side is a business card that is, I am, for example, the president of the Miami Association of Realtors. And this is where I spend or invest my money, because it's a great flamboyant title, but I don't get paid. I use my heart to move forward until one goal, to be united into what we're doing all together. Because, and that's when I said, I want people to remember for me for who I am as a human being, and not for the lot of titles that I have done. Obviously, when you have done this on a consistent basis, I'm not jumped from one industry to the other. I have been always involved with real estate, and that's my passion, because I'm a firm believer that having a home is, achieving the goal of the world's dream, not anymore America's dream. Because with this crisis, health crisis, we found the home to be the best refuge, to be away from a potential infection of this dramatic crisis that we have been living. But I said, you need to reinvent yourself. So the moral of the story is that I tell people, titles and titles goes and comes and go, but relationships are forever. Every time that I meet somebody, I decided this person will be forever. This person will stand by for what we need, and the other persons I just ignore. I don't have, any way to say who's better, who's not better. I think when you open your heart and you realize who's with you, I said, let's enjoy the journey together. Let's not waste any freaking minute of life, because
I love this. I love this. I love what you're bringing up here, and I think that there it is. And what I dissect from this whole thing is that when we look at, it's not the title, but it is the relationship. This is what it really comes down to: is the people. It doesn't matter what color you are, what hat you wear, where you are, what job title you hold. Are you a good person, and are you able to connect with other people? Can you connect those dots? Because, even when I go back a few minutes here and we talk about the international travel and being able to get, and understand the different cultures, I can remember all the way back when I was in school for marketing many, many years ago. I remember one particular course where they taught us all about culture and the different cultures and the different way people do business and the different ways you approach a situation. And you start to really internalize it. It cannot be one size fits all when it comes to how you do it, but in the way that you act with other people, you can certainly do, in a sense, the one size fits all, because you're being who you are. You are being you, and you are really making that true connection with other people. And again, this is where life comes from. Beyond just dollars and cents, this is that real deal connection. Have you created a friendship? Have you got somebody else you can speak with? Somebody else that you can go visit and sit down and have a glass of whatever together and just enjoy good conversation? That doesn't matter what title they are. Um, the technology landscape, it's not slowing down. And looking at the fact that we are both virtual, where are you located right now? You're in Florida?
I am in Miami Beach, Florida.
There we go. I'm in Toronto, Canada. And here we are having a full on conversation as if we're right next to each other, it's a magical thing. It's amazing. But we find that many people are still reluctant to fully embrace technology, really out of fear of what other people might think, fear of letting other people in. And that's the beauty of technology too. One moment you can be in a trade hall, and the other moment you can be on the beach. And for those of listening on iTunes right now, they're going, "What's he talking about?" But Francisco's background just changed. But the importance of being transparent and authentic with regards to who you are. Why is that so important in today's world? Because again, technology, fear of letting other people in, fear of what other people may think. Oh my, I'm on camera right now. I cannot even see all the people watching. I can't see what they're doing. I know I'm the one on camera, so everybody's looking at me. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. But then there's this other thing that says, hey, but if you embrace it and you actually take advantage of it, you can really use it to do some great things out there. So, again, the question around, the importance in today's world around being transparent and authentic with who you are.
Well, I think number one, um, going back for what we were talking about, the relationships,
Mm-hmm.
I think when you connect, like you and me, you have to open your heart, meaning you have to be fully transparent. So I think when you bring that transparency, the trust is there, because you said, well, what are your intentions? I said, listen, I don't have any intentions. This is who I am without a cover. And I think that's important. I have to tell that some people fear technology.
Mm-hmm.
um, and people fear, you know, to embrace what we need to embrace because we have no other choice. I just shared with you a couple of minutes before we started an award that I won,
Yep.
and the let me see the title, the Virtual Innovator Award International. And what that means is that I have no choice, but after flying in 2019 154,000 miles, I have no other way to say, well, how I'm going to do my job. So I have to reinvent myself. And I said, well, I just need to become virtual. And I hate when people say, oh yeah, we now we are embracing technology and we are doing this and that. I said, well, keep in mind that if you have a childhood, you remember the Jetsons, the famous cartoon from Hanna-Barbera.
I use this
And
one
they,
all the time.
and they were born in 1957. So it's older than everybody else. And I think we're doing everything that the Jetson did in that moment, except that we are not flying. But maybe
I was about to say I can't wait for the flying cars. I think that'll be
so
really cool.
the time of flying will become. So I think the advantage of this health crisis was to force yourself to do what you have to do. And people say, "Oh, you are now in technology." Well, yeah, right. But being in Zoom or Microsoft Team or go to webinar, that doesn't mean that I'm a technological person. I'm just embracing technology.
Mm-hmm.
But I just recently wrote an article in the Forbes Real Estate Council that I was accepted during the pandemic as well. And I wrote an article that says, "Don't lose the human side, or the human side of technology." You see me that my background is back. I just showed the beach, but I'm back to the virtual
It's
trade show.
amazing how you move around so quickly.
The virtual trade show. Well, do you think that I wanted to be living my life, just looking at a monitor, not even able to smell the perfume of a beautiful woman or the cologne of a handsome man, or just shaking hand and give you a hug and say, "Hey, I miss you."
Yeah.
So I think so. The moral is that don't lose the human side of who you are, and don't be afraid. I I was saying that I hope I will win the award for closings on a not on a virtual mode, but in a live to in person meetings, and or balance a hybrid. But I think what we need to is adjust. Is my message. Is just do what you have to do, what you can do. Don't get stuck. Oh, I cannot do that. I don't like to do this. No, I said I became a virtual freak, if you want to say, and I'm just contacting. I grew. I almost doubled my contacts in social media and qualified contacts, and being able to meet the most incredible people through over the internet.
Can I ask you about that for a minute? Because I think that's a big point you just hit on there. What did you do to double your contacts? Like I'm talking like the micro step by step. I mean, you know, one of the micro steps might be, well, I opened up my Facebook. Well, I get it. And most people open up their Facebook. There's people watching this right now that have Facebook open that don't even realize they open Facebook because it has just become a habit, right? That being said, though, it's not just about opening it and stalking other people. It is about engaging with other people. And so be it Facebook, be it LinkedIn, what are you actually doing to grow your network when you do that? How are you, is there a method to the madness? Is there an something every day that you say to yourself, this is what I have to do? Or is this just a natural thing you do?
Well, number one, that came combined with an ideas. Number one, I revisited all my social media
Mm-hmm.
platforms, and I realized that you have to combine who you are. And one of the things that I did, I said, well, my name was Francisco Angulo, and my nickname was Kiko Angulo. When I lived in Venezuela, everybody knew me as Kiko. When I moved to the US, sorry guys, I'm not anymore Kiko, I'm Francisco. But then technology came on board, and I said, oh, now people's writing on my Facebook saying, hi, happy birthday, Kiko, or hello, Kiko. And David was asking, are you Kiko? Oh, I
Right.
like it. So during the pandemic, I said, okay, not anymore. I'm Francisco Kiko Angulo officially, and I changed on my whole social media. And the interesting part is that now the people that used to call me Francisco wants to call me Kiko, and the ones to call me Kiko wants to call me Francisco. I said, whatever makes you happy, but I'm unique and I'm the only one.
Yeah.
Then I went to Google, put my name, and I said, who are my competitors? Well, a priest in Spain. Well, I'm not a priest. And another the biomedical doctor in Chile, and then a student in Tennessee. And I said, well, now with the Kiko, I become far apart from them,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm building my brand. So it was all about the brand. Then I hired somebody to help me out to put together my social media, my LinkedIn profile, and every day oh shoot, I have to change this now again. And it's not like you do it once and then you forget it. No, you have to, like your phone, every 5 days you have to update it.
So you're going
So
through
then
regular. That's one of the big things is you're going through regularly to make sure things are up to date.
well,
Listen,
you have to come
that's what I
gas.
said. It can be
once a week.
micro, it can be simple, but some of these are those steps that, you're taking and it's working for you. There are, audience members right now that are going, so what do I do? How do I do it? And what we try to do
Okay,
with the
so
Mindshare podcast is explain, here's how to build Mindshare. We're talking social media channel. How do we do it across the social channel is essentially the idea.
yeah. So basically, what I did is okay. So how do I build my platform? So I took classes. I took one in Harvard online. I did one in Yale, and I did in LinkedIn. So I met people like from all different sources. I became an official member of the GRI Club, which is a very sophisticated club, worldwide that I'm a member. I became part of the Forbes Real Estate Council. I was accepted. I wrote my first article, and I've been participating in this meeting. Then I picked like 3 or 5 people. I have a habit to pick 5 people, and then okay, let me connect with David. Hi, David, how are you? Let's talk for 5 minutes, and then I see how we move forward. That way, I have meet people. I connected with people. Obviously, everything that I'm doing, people are following up, including today. And I say, well, so it's been a habit that I built, that I feel like it's making me, um, it's helping me to
Mm-hmm.
do it on a regular basis. I did one thing that it has been very important to me. I'm the most lazy person to read. So I said, how do I read books?
Audible.
So I accepted to be part of the book club. So the Happiness Advantage was the first book, and the second one was Atomic Habits.
Yep.
So I'm not reading the books. I just go to Audible using technology. So I listen to the books.
I
Then
do the
I
same.
go to the summary. I go to the summary of the books. And I have to say, it's about that you need to fulfill what you're doing. And what you read on those books is that I'm not doing the work because I have to do it. I'm just doing my work because it's fun to do it. And when I focus on my last goal, well, a year ago, I said I had never been to Canada in the sense of business travel. We need to grow the brands in Canada. Well, somebody's telling me, I said, Francisco, now that you started, in 4 months, I think more people know you in Canada than the US. I said, well, but how am I doing? I'm not forcing anybody. I'm not making
Yeah.
a phone call. I said, you need to, buy my brand. No, forget it.
Yeah.
You know, and I have to say, people ask me, well, you sell 6 brands. What's the best brand that you sell? You know the answer?
You.
None of them. It's me.
Yeah. You.
Because I need to find people like me that have a vision, that have the passion, that have the energy, that have the eagerness, that have the commitment, that have the habits, and go on. Because the brand is you. Because when people, I hear agents going, oh, I'm going to this company because it's better than yours. I said, that's wrong. All
Yeah.
companies are good. You are the problem. And you bring your baggage in your suitcase to the other company. So be honest to yourself. Look in the mirror. And I have 2 ears, one mouth. Learn when to listen, when to talk, when to see. And I think when you do that, you will become really who you are. And then you will see that you are the best brand. No questions about it. Because when you go to a territory, I go to Bahamas and he said, oh, who's the best one? Oh, David Greenspan. Oh, the guy from ABC Realty. Oh, yeah. So who do you think that they name first? The person.
Yeah.
Facebook, Mike Zuckerberg. You know, Amazon, Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Google, Larry Page.
I
Really, Francisco Angulo
there
Kiko.
you go. Right. I love this mindset. And you had said to me when we were talking, and I love this. I think because you're bang on. Right. Just do it. Life is not a round trip. Do you remember saying that to me?
Of course,
Okay,
absolutely.
tell us more about this. Why should everybody focus on this way of living? Um, and what do you do to stay in that mindset every single day?
Well,
Because I mean, let's just clarify here for a moment. You've got a wonderful position, and I have had the good fortune to be able to see your resume as well. When you bring up charities and volunteer positions, it is extensive. And the first thought that comes to mind for me is where do you get the time for it? But not just the time, it's staying in the right positive mindset for it all. How do you do that?
well, I think some events happen in your life that make you feel like, okay, I'm waking up. And what does that mean, waking up? Well, I lost my mother, and in 42 days, and I never thought that my mother was gonna die. Then I lost a nephew that was killed in a motorcycle accident, and he left three babies, 2 months, 18 months, and 11 years. And you get again see, wow. So am I lucky? Of course, absolutely, I'm lucky. I have lived these whole years and look at this happening to other people. Not only that, number two, yes, I travel, like I said before, 154,000 miles all over. But in my lifetime, 2.5 million. But is that something that makes a change in my life? No, I think it's opportunity to see the world, to see humans, to see suffering, to see glamour, to see everything that you can. But I learned that one thing that I have to do, it was I have to buy a round trip ticket every time that I was going somewhere else. Unless you're moving, obviously, you buy a one-way ticket. But I came home and I said, I think my life is a one-way ticket, and I think I'm not gonna take it for granted. I think I'm gonna take and share the opportunities of what I have today. And obviously, I was reading actually the way why Nike became with the "Just Do It" slogan, because one of the things that I learned from the pandemic was like, oh well, I feel poor. I said, why? Well, not poor in my heart. It's because I said, people say, oh, do you miss traveling? I said, well, absolutely not. But why? I said, well, if I see a plane now, I feel like it's a small capsule of germs that you sit down on a plane for 8 hours and you breathe the same air for 12 hours or how many hours you're flying. And I said, forget it. And no, life is only one. And I said, why do I say poor? Because I said I would like to buy my own plane, which I can. And that's out of my hands. And on the other contrary, but I said, life is today. So the slogan of "Just Do It" is because it's mean to me, don't waste time.
Yeah.
Try it, do it. If you fail, stand up. You fail, double stand up. Be proud of who you are, but be wise. Why did I fail? Oh, this is not for me. Okay, so let's get out of this business. Oh, this is for me. What do I have to do? Listen from the best, capitalize, and build your own little piece of sand or castle of sand and be happy. Because asking, oh, what's your goal in life? I say, well, depends. If you ask me how you doing, I will tell you fantastic. If you ask me how you doing compared to whom, well, I hope I can be Larry Page, the owner of Google, or Mark Zuckerberg. But I'm not. But I'm happy of who I am. And probably those people are an inspiration. And I don't envy because sometimes, money is not the final commodity for happiness. It helps a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I think
Mm-hmm.
when you are not chasing for that, it can come easy because you have built your brand, your trust, and people say, I would like to buy a brand from you. It seems like your company, it's good. And in addition, that REALOGY has been named for 10 consecutive years a most ethical company. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you just have to be honest, open your heart, show who you are.
And
And this,
it still comes down to that relationship. and being
Absolutely.
authentic about who you are. Um,
Absolutely.
you had told me, and you had just brought up your mom a moment ago, and a lot of the lessons that you had learned from her. And you had told me that your mom had taught you to reciprocate and do even more for others. Can we go back to one of the calls we had? You told me the story of Milta.
Mhm.
And I thought that might be an interesting one to share here today, just in line with the messaging that we're talking about and really hammering home the idea of reciprocity.
Yes. Well, I go back for things that I did not share with you at that time, but I'll tell you quickly that my neighbors, we became like family. My mom was a very unique lady. Somebody has scrolled down my social media, especially in Facebook. You're going to see my mom was a pretty lady, with all the opportunities, and the whole love. And I remember that one thing that I learned that, let's say my mom used to receive a cake from the neighbors. So the pot that the cake was coming, when it was, we ate the cake, we needed to clean it. And my mom said, no, don't return it because I'm going to do another cake to return it back. So the reciprocity was, well, we're going to have dessert forever now because uh, so the moral was of the story was like, if you give and don't expect, you receive. But when you give and you show your love of what, uh, the appreciation of what you did. So, but anyway, so sometimes, you are young, you don't know what you're telling your mom and your parents. And when I moved to the US, one of my mother best friends moved. She was born in Cuba, and they were exiled to Venezuela first. Then they came to the US, and then she lived in Miami for a while, some time, and then moved to Orlando. Every time that my mom was coming to Miami, she said, "Oh, I have a gift for Milta." And I said, "Okay, mom, but I'm sick and tired that you always are giving something to Milta, and we never, see anything that she sent you." And I said, "Mom, why are you doing all that?" I said, "Well, I wanted to be sure that when I die, you have somebody that can replace my role, and you can count for that mother's love that you will not have anymore." "Oh, come on, mom, you're crazy. What are you talking about? Don't be stupid. Stop giving, gift to Mirta." So, well, the news came that my mother was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer and she had 32 days to live. And we got calls from Mirta, and mom died, unfortunately, peacefully. And we said we're going to celebrate life. My mom used to be a parachuter, a car racer, a pilot, and that's where I probably come from, that wild side of, process of thinking, but very loved woman. My mom was an immigrant in Venezuela from Argentina. And I remember my aunt saying to me, "I had never seen somebody that was so successful than your mother. And look at the church. There's no one room of peace of more people to fit in." And we're so proud of her. So I guess when you don't have fear to do that, and I can even tell you a story that my mom said, "Mom, why did you marry my dad?" I said, "Well, we met in Chile. He moved back to Venezuela because he was not architecture in Venezuela. I moved back to Argentina, and then we married by power. And then I flew three days on a propeller plane to get there by myself. And I have my wedding dress on my suitcase." And I said, "Mom, and you were able to do that 54 years ago?" I said, "Yes." "Oh, well, it wasn't 54. Now it's 54." And I said, so I turned around and I said, "Dad, you better love my mother, because that's a true love. And that's a true, genuine love of what my mom did by herself."
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "So you better treat her well."
Yeah.
But the moral of the story is that when my mother passed away, The first person that knocked the door of our house was my mother's friend, Mirta. And she said, I'm here for you guys. If you need me, I'm here for what I can do for you guys. And you know what? I learned, I said, the good thing in life is that when you do good to people, then the minute that you never expect any reciprocity, it comes by itself. And people say, oh, yeah, I'm so lucky. I say, no, that's not luck. To me, that's something that you generate from who you are and your investment of what you're doing. And, uh, and I'm going to give you a preview here. I have a panel on next week bus conference,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all four younger realtors, three from Canada, one from the US, and they're under 25, and they're killing it. These are kids that are, one of them making $450,000 per year
Beautiful.
and being on the business for such. And I said, why are you doing this? Well, number one, I don't have kids, but if the God doesn't give you kids, the devil give you nephews and nieces, realtors, and more realtors. And I'm happy with that. So, so I said to them, what are you? Oh, that's fantastic. He said, well, number one, I believe in new generations. Number two, in order for me to be updated, I need you to tell me what I'm doing wrong in terms of technology,
Mm-hmm.
expression, how to talk. Because once again, I need to create the habit to reinvent myself on a daily basis. This is not a one day, oh yeah, I went to school, I don't go out anymore. No,
Right.
school is every day for life until you die.
Yeah.
So, so moral of the story is that when you do good things,
Good things come
things
back.
come back to you unexpected without even thinking.
And that's the mindset that everybody needs to have is that the power of reciprocity is exactly that. You've got to get up and want to do for people, but you cannot get up wanting to do for people expecting something in return. And it's hard because there's only so much time in a day and there's only so much capacity to get as much as we can done. And oftentimes we can feel that when we're doing for people and we're not receiving, that why are we doing? Well, the reality is that's the way the universe works. You go and help other people, be genuine about it. At some point, it may not be that person, but you will get the help in return. But you've got to be genuine. It's got to be deep down in your heart for the way you live it. Um, we'd also discussed the celebration of life and having the right attitude. And you had mentioned the three things in life. And you said to me, David, there's one, the glamour, two, how to achieve the glamour, and three, what's behind it. And a few minutes ago, you also brought up glamour. So I want to ask you, can you explain this one a little further for us? Because I like that. I thought about that one a little bit further. And, you know, it really resonates when you start to let it sink in, percolate on, and think about what's being said there. So I was hoping you could explain that a little further for us.
Well, I remember one time while living here in Miami, I called my sister and I said, I would like to give as a gift to Manuel Alejandro and Andrea, my two, my nephew and my niece, a gift to go to a summer camp. And after all the clearance from my brother-in-law and etc., they flew from Caracas to Miami, and then I flew them to Boston. Then we drove to Rhode Island, and I said, we're going to this Portsmouth Abbey Catholic School, one of the best in the US for international summer camp. And I said, my nephew, my niece says, "What are you doing this to us?" I said, "Because I wanted to do it when I was a kid, and I did not have the opportunity. Now with bringing you guys over here, I feel like I'm doing it." And I remember I went to the school, and I started talking to a Mexican lady, and I said, "Oh, are those your kids?" I said, "No, no, those are not my kids. Are my nephew and niece, because I give them the gift to come." So she said, Rodrigo, come and meet this gentleman here. Look what he's doing. Oh my God, can you adopt my kid? I said, "Oh no, I don't want any more." Every time that I get a phone call from them, they're going to ask me for something. And I can be nice, but I cannot be too nice sometimes. So anyway, so it was time to go, and I left that place, and all the parents were like in tears on their eyes. And I said, Well, I have tears. I called my sister. I said, do you believe that I'm crying? I don't have, those are not my kids. But I think now I understand what the feeling is between you and a kid. And I do thank you for giving me that opportunity. So the moral of going back to the glamour, when they came back, oh, I give them $300 each. Well, the rule of the school says 300 because everything was paid, including everything,
Mm-hmm.
very expensive one. And I said, well, I'm going to give you 600. I'm going to double it. And you're going to use it the way you want it. So when you come back, then we'll talk. Well, they came back and I said, well, I just show you what glamour in life is. You went to a great school, you hang out with great people, you have great experiences, you are super happy. Number one, let's see how much you spend. Oh, I think I have, oh, how much money you have left? The young girl says, oh, I have 322 whatever left. And I said, let me check. Yes, you're correct. The other one said, oh, no, I think I said, you are a liar. You are not telling me the truth. I'm going to tell you one thing. If you don't tell me the truth, it's okay. You are the one who will not do how to do your finances in the future. I think the lesson here is that you need to be conscious of what you're doing. You called me on day 3 that you were going to buy a boombox and you asked me for permission. I said, why are you asking me for permission if you already bought it? It's your money. So the lessons learned. So I said, I have shown you the glamour of life. That's the glamour. But you know what? Don't take it for granted because you have to earn it.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're going to come and work in my office and you have to follow the rules. And I said, this is your boss, which was my assistant, and you have to report to her. And then I saw the guy with some, you know, earphones, and he was just dancing and dancing. I said, hey, come on, you're not at home, you're at work. You need to concentrate. So I said, this is what you earn the glamour. Then I said, but there's always something behind the glamour of life. Tragedies, incidents that happen in your life, things that you are unexpected, that probably, it's not that you hide them, but they hurt you. And I think with all the things that had happened, in life, well, to me, it's a celebration of life because all we have the same destiny. It's the whole thing. It's just how you take it. So I said, hey, I'm alive. I'm going to take it alive and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not going to regret anything. I just have to wake up and move forward. So I said, and I have to say that these kids are grown now. One is in Spain, married, successful. And I remember when they went back to Venezuela, I said, I need a desk to work. I said, I'll buy the desk for you. So it's not only give the money to your kids, for those who has kids. So my mom used to say, you are born with wings, but I need to teach you how to fly.
Right.
Don't fly too low, don't fly too high, just go on the right altitude. And always said, I remember my mom says, one that is really bad says, don't ever go to a pool party and poo on the pool because I look bad. It feels like I did not give you education. But remember, sooner or later it will float. So the moral to that is that if you are not honest to yourself, sooner or later it will float. And then you say, oh my God, why should I be wasting my time doing this? So I think be who you are, judge yourself and move forward to be better every day. And I said, how you doing? I'm doing fantastic. Even though I can be miserable on the inside. But one, work on your wants, or your things that hurt and heal yourself and move forward because life is amazing. And today I feel so honored to be here, talking to Canadian realtors, talking to a Canadian audience, because by the end of the year, I probably gonna feel adopted by the Canadian, uh, you know, uh, citizen human beings that are there, because of the amazing friendships that I have built and the doors are open in Miami Beach. So anytime that you need,
Well, I was
I'm
going to
here.
say the same. Right back at you. We're happy to have you, and you are welcome anytime as soon as these planes and germ capsules, clear up and the world goes back to a different place. Um, I keep an eye on the clock here. I wanted to ask you a few things and kind of so much of what we talked about today has been focused on mindset and how to live a better life. And I want to look ahead for a moment here. If you've got a few more minutes, and I wanted to ask you, when we think about technology versus people, and we really have addressed a bunch of this today as well. But we look at the landscape over the past 12 months. Where's our industry? What is the thoughts, maybe the conversations you're having with others, maybe the thoughts in your own mind? But, we look at technology as well and the influx of realtors going towards technology and the options that are available to them right now with where they hang their hat. And we see the vibrations, but I believe that they're momentary, bumps in the road right now. I believe that it's a moment in time. What are we seeing for this industry over the next 5 years? Major changes, maybe challenges, uh, opportunities. What are you seeing?
Well, I think the real estate industry will continue to grow. I
Hmm.
have no doubt about that. And I don't think I have to be an expert to say that population is growing. So I know you have two kids and they might need a house too. So they're going to grow and they need a house.
As much as they can stick around with me right now, at some point, I hope they need one too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, but and I think the necessity of a shelter, and it's not only on the sense of what I see is just, I believe that people are going to feel attached to a home because you can feel safe, you can feel that you have a place to come and cry and share your pain and your happiness, and then you go out and then you come back home. So I think the industry will continue to grow. Technology, infrastructure, developments, uh, design. I think it might change to the new rules of how we live in life together today. I remember you saying to me that, oh yeah, build something in my backyard, and I feel it, and I see your post, and I feel like when you are there, I'm there with you because I know the story now behind
Yeah.
it, why you are there, and it's you feel like accomplished. So you appreciate what you're doing. So I think I have believe that the industry will excel. The industry will be growing every single day. I think the collaboration and what we are all doing, regardless of which brand you are, it's a common sense that we are all, between buyer and seller. And as long as we have property rights, we have a job. And I think as long as we are respectful on the industry, will the technology will replace the industry? I don't think so. It will help a lot, and it will bring changes. But at the end of the day, you need to feel the house. You need to feel somebody showing you the house. They need a consultant to talk, a trust source to say, yes, I'm with you, and if you're happy, I'm happy. So I don't think so. It's something that it will excel in the next 5 to 10 years.
And I think it comes back to the Jetsons that you mentioned, and I've been bringing up the Jetsons for a long time now and making that comparison to just the way we live today and where things are going. And if you think about it, if we really go there for a moment, as much technology as they had and flying cars and everything else, they were still people and they still communicated and connected with other people. And so I think that that's an important realization there, is to say that this industry is still going to rely on the people, that technology is here to assist, but it is not here to overtake, which kind of leads me to a next question here, that when we talk about marketing specifically as an agent, and, um, you know, I coined the term how to get out there and build more mind share so people know who you are. In the same breath, I'm going to bring up, what about remaining relevant? And because we talk about tech, we talk about it's still a people business. How can a realtor go out there and leverage tech right now to build that mind share, yet remain relevant as I still need that person rather than I can do everything online? What's maybe that one thing that you suggest realtors should be doing?
Well, I think the way I won that award, the virtual award, so I was doing sales.
Yep.
But don't you think the first thing that I will do once the all the restriction are it's safe to travel, I'm gonna go and visit them first.
Yeah.
That's my first trip for sure, because that human touch has to be there. That contact, say, hey, nice office. Hey, why don't you do this here? And I think it will be prevailing for the future. So I recommend to be up to date, create that habit in life, the way you go to the doctor, just keep constantly growing and learn from others. Find your niche to what you feel like you have the advantages or the positive things that you like to do. Try to see how you weigh the ones that you don't like that much and find support on the ones that you hate. Not hate, but it's not like you
Mm-hmm.
prefer to do on a daily basis.
Well,
you know
it's that idea of the SWOT. I mean, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What can you do to leverage your strengths and get other people to help you with those weaknesses, right?
yeah, so I think that's the future. And to me, I have to say I wasn't the most technological person in the world, but now I feel like I'm embracing technology on the correct way because I'm a user. I'm not a platform builder or programmer, but I'm a user. So how do I learn how to use it? And if I don't know how to use it, you see that beautiful booth on the background?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
that was interactive. Every logo here that you touch was a video behind.
Mm-hmm.
All the presentation, all the clicks here on the social media was giving you to there. Every person that was arriving on the booth virtual, I have to say, hello, it's Francisco, I'm here. How can I help you? I feel like I was there
Yeah.
and interacting with people like I'm doing today with all of you Canadian and the rest of the world. But do you think that I prefer this and rather see you in person
Of
and
course.
probably eat in a nice restaurant with
Right.
that famous Putin or whatever it's called?
Poutine.
Putin, yes. I
So
don't want to get confused with some president in another part of the world.
yeah, we got to be the accent, right? Um,
Yes.
okay, so looking ahead then and understand the landscape that we're in, understand the time where we're at and what's going on out there. High level here, or maybe a little deeper, but what is Realogy doing to prepare for what's ahead or what's new and exciting over there that everybody should know about?
Well, we are in more than 120 countries. We have more than 311,000 agents worldwide. We have more than 2,500 franchisees worldwide.
Wow.
We have more than 22 years of each franchisee stayed on the brand, and we have 98% retention ratio. We're the most ethical company for 10 consecutive years in the real estate sector. We are we believe in diversity, inclusion. We believe in everything that we're doing. It's a great place to work, a great place to work, and the direction is to continue growing. And there is yes, we have 6 brands, but like I said before, each brand has their own swimming lane, meaning that each of them have their own history, culture,
Mm-hmm.
vision, etc. And you choose the one you feel happy, the niche of the market, the average sales price, etc. And our plans is to continue growing and be aggressive in our, in what we believe. There are options, so we are another of the options, and we wanted to be sure that the value proposition prevails from anybody else. And that's a plan. And I'm pretty sure that you will be probably in the near future interviewing other of the CEOs or people that are important. I saw a couple of the CEOs from our brands already in your show, and
Very
but
honored to have them on here.
we're here to stay. We're a broker friendly company. We are a friendly company to work with. We believe in cooperation, and this is who we are. We're not here to damage anybody. On the contrary, we're here to grow together. And obviously we have, out of the 6 brands, 4 are already in Canada, and we have 2 that are not, and maybe we'll push them to come. And I think Canada is a very big market, and we'll see what happens. There's this is not something that is for everybody. So we just have to be sure that if you are in, just you let me know, and that's it.
How do you know that it has been a successful day for you? Day is over. You have woken up. You have done what you had to do, what you think you've done, what you've had to do. Maybe you had big plans. Maybe you didn't. I mean, time management is a whole other conversation, but it's the day's over and you're about to lay your head down. How do you know it's been a successful day for you? What's that one or two things that lets you kind of look and say, I'm satisfied with what we accomplished today?
Well, the first thing that I would say, and this is a perfect example, today I would sleep very happy to say I was in a great podcast mindshare program for Canadians, and I feel honored to have the opportunity. And not only honored, but I enjoyed every single moment. With one disadvantage, I
What's that?
cannot see all the viewers.
I know, me too.
But we understand that that's part. But I would say my role today, I wake up and I had, number one, a phone call with the global team. Number two, a VIP client for one of the brands, which is where we show the value proposition of what they get. And then I had time to change and get ready for David Greenspan podcast. And then I have hang up. So when I walk, uh, and the day is gone, and I walk to my bed, the first thing that I said is, well, I'm super happy to have the chance to live another day with accomplishment. And 1, 2, 3. I was taught to celebrate every single moment of your life, as long as it can be super minimal to be super big. So to me, I try to line up every morning of things that I have to do, and some of the days I go worried that I couldn't accomplish all of them. But I think in the overall, I think that's a reminder that you have to push more for what you're doing. And when you get them accomplished, I say, wow, I suffer, this time to get the things done, but it doesn't let them bother me. On the contrary, I let them challenge me so I can say, just do it.
I love that. I put that up a few days ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago. I win or I learn. I never lose.
Exactly.
What last words or tips can you share for everybody who's tuned in, both live right now and to those that are listening on the audio version on iTunes and all the major platforms for a long time to come from here? What last words can you share to them for everybody to just get out there and have a better mindset, live a better life, and build more mind share for themselves?
Well, first you have to dream. I have to tell you, if you are a visionary, I'll tell you something that just happened on Saturday.
Yep.
And I be quick because I know time is of the essence. But I'll tell you this: I'm part of the Miami Symphony Orchestra Advisory Board, and these musicians stopped because they couldn't play. So the board decided we're going to pay them. So we have to be creative, and we have brought a lot of ideas to do it. And on Saturday, it was actually, this foundation is in Canada. It's called Genius 100 Foundation, and it was created to say and celebrate the achievement of Einstein. And they celebrated the centennial, and the 100 years of Einstein. And they had this foundation that I was invited to participate. And because the new inductee of the Genius 100, the previous one was the maestro that performed the Miami Symphony Orchestra, and he decided to induct the current astronaut that is on the International Space Station, astronaut Noguchi, the Japanese astronaut. And on Saturday, we did a meeting, a Teams meeting, virtual, directly with the International Space Station. And one of the amazing things that I lived that date or that moment was that in an hour, I believe there were like 2 or 3, I don't remember exactly how many, I didn't count them. I just Googled after the information. I said, well, what is this guy talking to us now? And it's the day. And then 10 minutes later is the night. Well, happened to be that, they rotated so quickly that, they have like 16 to 24, I don't know how many exactly. But so the moral is that how will I close to do this? Well, these genius are a way to improve life. So the maestro of the Miami Symphony did a special performance for the induction of the astronaut Noguchi.
Cool.
And I was invited to be a donor and be part of the foundation, which I became. And the foundation is based in Toronto, Canada.
Oh,
And so now I just added in my LinkedIn profile that I'm part of the Genius 100 social member, and I'm able to participate with all these human members that are trying to improve the life. And the space is probably a solution of finding for new achievement. So my closing statement will be: dream for what you want. Be fearless. Open your heart. Be transparent and enjoy your life. Keep in mind that we are on a one-way journey. How long does it last? Who cares and who knows when? Will be worried about that? Not at all. You just have to enjoy today, not tomorrow, because we can plan when that one-way ticket will expire. So be happy, adjust quickly, and move forward. Always. The relativity statement of Einstein says that in order to keep the balance, you need to keep moving. So I keep moving. And age is a number. What is in here is it here. So I'm not be too young, but I still act like I'm a kid. So enjoy your day. I do thank you for the invite. And if you want to reach me directly, look for me. I'm here for you.
incredibly inspirational. You've got me smiling from ear to ear at this point. My cheeks are beginning to hurt. The words, I'm taking an incredible amount of notes. I mean, I find that every time I'm talking to you, I'm going through pages and pages of notes. So my pens are running out of ink, but it's a very good thing. I thank you. Very honored to have you on the show today. Uh, Absolutely, just love the words you shared, and I think they were incredibly powerful. As we talk to everybody on today's show about how to live an even better life. I think we've covered so much of that today. We've talked technology, we've talked mindset, we've talked the importance of people. And I mean, you explained it with elegance and some wonderful stories. Just a very big, sincere thank you to you, Kiko. Very, very honored to have you on the show.
David, thank you so much for the invitation. Once again, thanks to the sponsor and to the audience as well. Hope to see you soon.
You're either listening to this on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, or Spotify. Or maybe you downloaded our free Industry Syndicate podcast app, or maybe you went to my website, mindshare101.com. And while you're on my site, make sure to download our free copy of the Ultimate Marketing Bundle for Realtors. This is a 31-page ebook packed with a ton of tips and tricks for you. Plus, there's a ready-to-go 90-day social media content counter to help you build more mindshare so that you can get more market share. And if you want to talk about personalized one-to-one coaching to help you get to your next level, just get in touch with me. We'll set up a free consultation call, learn more about what you're looking to achieve, and, well, how I will help you do just that. Also, don't forget our Push to 100 is on, so be sure to go to iTunes, subscribe to the show, leave a review, rate us, and you will be entered into a draw for a free one-to-one strategy coaching call. And if you haven't yet, connect with me on Facebook at Mindshare101 and on Instagram at DavidGreenspan101. I want to once again thank the Buzz Conference for sponsoring today's episode. Don't forget to follow the Buzz Conference at the Buzz Conference on Instagram and either click the link in their bio or visit thebuzzconference.com to grab your free tickets for our March 25th, 26th event. And tune into the speaker spotlights happening on a regular basis. And of course, I want to once again thank Kids Keep in Touch Systems for sponsoring today's episode. If you haven't checked us out yet, just go to mindshare101.com and click on marketing. This has been another episode of the Mindshare Podcast. Thank you for tuning in.